Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. We are live. It is I, Wolfer, as you know, the Bardic logs. I am tired, sleepy, and here, as always, with my crew. Feels free to say hello, everybody.
Hello,
Hello,
everybody.
everybody.
Oh, I just checked to make sure my Yeti Nano mic was actually being, cool and not being heard, because that's happened before when I first opened stream. I'm like, oh Lord, I hope, hope to God I'm actually being heard. There we go. All right, so today we're playing the D20 Modern, and it's gonna be a new type of game. I know I have it listed under D&D for stream. That's just because there is no D20 Modern tag, so or any kind of general TTRPG tag. So we're still kind of labeled as D&D. But feel
I mean,
free.
technically, it's true. We're just reskinning some of the monsters. Now the dragon's shapeshifted into a human lawyer.
Exactly. Everyone has their new kind of modern, up to date vibes that they got going on. It's mostly just it's still D&D. It's mostly just up to date with modern technology and modern appliances, modern beliefs, kind of stuff. Yeah. With that though,
Except the part where they get you a cell phone and the battery lasts 24 hours. That's a bunch of bullshit. I'm still waiting for it.
no, yeah, that's still not a thing that's able to be happen. Absolutely. um, while I am doing the ping and making sure everything's up and going, Griff, would you mind checking to make sure that I sound okay and everything like that? But while we get going, let me turn down the music a wee bit. The waifu said that needs to be turned down just a wee bit. Look, I didn't even think. I had y'all that loud. Now I gotta make sure the music is not too bad. There we go. Okay, so Livia and Griff, we're gonna go bit by bit. You tell me a little bit about your character, and we're gonna start with a little bit of your general backstory. And while I do these quick little pings, and then while you kind of give me your general backstory, I'll be, because this is kind of session 0.5, so I'm not gonna yet introduce the story. I'm just gonna introduce the kind of play setting for everybody. You guys give me your kind of character introduction, and then we'll start kind of like forming around into where we go for the story. Does that make sense?
I think so.
All
It
right.
does, but it does seem like you're a bit soft on stream.
Like, I'm a
Like
bit
I can,
soft. Okay, let
yeah, on
me.
stream, but I can hear you perfectly fine in Discord, but on stream it sounds a bit soft.
Okay, let me turn myself up a wee bit on stream. There we go. I hope that's a little bit better, a wee bit better. I turned myself, just my mic up. So there we go. I hope that sounds a wee bit better. While I talk, Liv, how are you doing today? Just while we check the sound. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. I'm a little tired, but
A little tired. I know I'm
yeah.
a little sleepy myself. For us, Americans, we're waking up at over before 10 a.m. just to go play
Mm.
some D&D. So it's
Dude, that's there's not a better word for it. That's pathetic. I'm
Well,
awake by 5, although not by choice always.
in our defense, I think we were awake in the middle of the night. So
Yeah.
fair. Now with that, I hope I sound better. Waifu, let me know if I do, or Griffin, if you're able to hear it, let me know if I sound all right. But for now, I'm gonna start giving the introduction, and let's go. So basically, we are doing a D20 Modern campaign. For like I said, for y'all that don't understand, it's just D&D, kind of 3.5, kind of 5th edition. I don't know, it's kind of vague, but boosted up to the modern day society, where now things are less, as the game would call it, chaotic. There is less magic in the world. There is less fantasy. A lot of magic has been not disproven, but proven to be either replicable or similar to technology, to the point where a lot of people have moved on to technology. Technology is seen as more consistent, more safe. if that makes sense. With that, a lot of magic is still practiced, it's just not known. Like, there's still elves that walk around, but they look more human. Instead of drow having deep purple skin, it's more of a light, kind of almost paler skin that looks maybe like a nerd who doesn't get out often. Tabaxi, instead of being full-on cats, are more like I mean, they're still cats. Like, it's still very obvious that cat.
Yeah, more animorphs.
Yeah, more animorphs, exactly. More human-esque, kind of like a bit like furry bait, you know. They're very on the edge of it, just ever so slightly. Like, things have changed, but it's still, if you were to bring it in, like if you as a D&D, us as D&D nerds were to walk into this world, we could still point out, oh, that's a fucking tabaxi. Oh, that's definitely an orc. It's just a little harder to tell. With this, we go to Evergrowth, which is my world, based on certain towns in Washington State. Washington itself is called the Evergreen State, so this is called Evergrowth. I'm not going to, just to help with, certain, privacies, I won't be going into too big a depth about the areas that maybe each one is inspired off, just to help keep my own personal privacy a little bit more safe. However, I do live in the general state of Washington, and that's just going to be unavoidable. This is based off the state of Washington in United States, and so many things will be very similar to the state of Washington. So I will be making references to the general state, but of course many things like that I have myself made up will be just a little different. Just FYI to anyone who is from Washington State and is like, what the fuck? This is different. With that though, here's the intro. We start by going over Homestead, the casual, lax, yet busy nature of this cold, forested town, shown as the streets are busy even this early in the morning. The sun barely even caressing over the horizon as Dragonborn/Elvis baristas are opening their drive-thrus, alongside the tiefling bikini baristas flirting with the tired halfling trucker, the hard, freezing nighttime port workers of Hubderson and Hunderson finally getting to switch out with the early morning crews. Delivery drivers already arguing with the restaurants about the Goodberry cream being melted for their customers' breakfast crepes. All this happening as a tabaxi with a black and white pattern coat sits down backwards in his foldable chair with his extremely sweet-looking coffee. More sugar and cream than actual coffee, which is a classic P&W special. All this happening while we were about to go into our intro. Tell me a bit about you guys. So that's a bit about our area. So before we go into our intro, where you guys enter a therapy office in a therapy type building, where over the forested kind of trees and green stuff, we go towards a kind of brick and mortar building with no visible like medical marks. It looks maybe like it's a rented building for this, right? So you maybe even looks very similar to almost like someone's home. A lot of the therapy stuff looks like it was even dragged, like chairs dragged from someone's home. That's kind of the general vibe as we enter this intro and the general like Evergrowth kind of vibe. Let's start with Liv. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so Liv, she is in her early 20s. She's a graduate student away from home, far away from home, all the way on the other side of the country. So she is, as one does, splitting an apartment with some classmates, or at least was, up until a particular event that we might go into, maybe in therapy even. She is, yeah, like I said, I think a graduate student at a local university, where she studies archaeology, art history, ancient language, all those things. And on the side, she studies the occult because she's into that stuff. She's not convinced that science has necessarily taken over and become, the thing. She thinks she sees signs of things everywhere. She's not quite sure, and she's documenting evidence and maybe even looking for ancient signs.
Your old roommates even, when you're like, having little moments of reading or watching like a lecture on old occultist or even listening to a podcast while you work out. So it'd be like asking like, hey, Shawnee, that's your character's name, right? Shawnee.
Oh yes, her name is Shawnee Weiss.
Shawnee White. Like Shawnee, um, what are you listening to? And they'd be like, oh, Creeping Critters podcast of the P and or like something like that. And they'd always just kind of give you a look, like, especially in this world, like unlike our modern world, where like cryptids is kind of like, ooh, we all know they're kind of not real, but we all like them a little bit, right? They could be real. Well, this is like when you listen to stuff, some of them give you the look like their uncle was like supposedly taken by it, right? That's kind of how like low key magic still is. A lot of them are still superstitious, kind of like how a religious person might be, where like, oh, you don't mess with that magic, it's not safe anymore, you know. So when they see that you're kind of like interested in it, they never judge you outright, but a lot of people would probably give you looks while you're
Yeah,
studying.
that's fair. That's fair. And to to be fair, her looks also garner her looks. She's covered in tattoos and all kinds. Well, I don't know how out of place that is here in Evergrowth, but
Not super out of place, luckily, but
all right.
but it's, I think, various different things you could say could get you looks. It's the you know it's society. People look at you for any reason.
And she carries around like notepads and stuff that are written in these ancient languages, and so if people look at them, they might be a little superstitious about it.
Very fair, very fair. Um, while we're talking, I'm actually gonna bring up the stream up to roll 20 here, so you guys end stream. Also, I forgot to answer your question in chat before I live. Yes, we are going to be doing roll 20. I actually did get stuff somewhat set up. It's mostly theater of mine, so for everyone in chat and just for the players, just FYI, it is pretty much theater of the mind. Oh, I have to get out of the game to send you guys the invite. Hold on, let me do that real quick. We'll keep talking while I send you guys the invite. But just FYI, we do have roll 20 today. It's just more reference images, not quite a full-on like breakdown of every single thing, as I don't have an artist that I can pay to do that very easily. So just so everyone is aware, there is Roll20. We'll be using reference images. It's just not going to be super in-depth. There we go. So for my players, there's a Roll20. And there we go. So, would you like to describe, other than just the physical aspects, how Shawnee looks? And I'll pull her up on stream so everyone can take a look.
Other than just the physical aspect, well, she is. Let's see.
Well,
She's a
anything
little.
about your physical aspects, because you just said
Oh,
your tattoos.
yeah. So she's got tattoos. She's got dark hair. She's got these bright green eyes. She is kind of short. She talks in this accent that maybe most people can't quite place, but she slips out of different languages all the time. So
Like maybe her
who
brain is
knows?
constantly just on different language.
Yep. She's just a language sponge, basically. So yeah. Let's see what else. She dresses in a kind of a preppy way. Like if you did see her working at a coffee shop, you wouldn't think twice. But actually, she doesn't work there. She just knows the place so well, and everyone knows her so well. She may as well.
Every now and then the owner will slip you a 20, and you're kind of like, what? And he's like, don't worry about it. It's that you dropped your 20 or something like that. Like they'll say something like that, or they'll hand you free coffee or a bag of coffee grounds. Like you just help around the shop so much that they kind of feel bad for not paying you.
Well, I mean, even better than that, the feedback that she gives on the chemistry of their coffee, like she has it down to a science. In fact, she minored in chemistry just to be a little better at coming up with a perfect coffee cup. And so she's given this feedback to the owners, and so they will sometimes say, "Hey, can you test this first thing in the morning?"
Every day. That's why you get free coffee. You're just kind of like the the daughter the owner never knew they wanted. You know, the owners of the coffee shop here. Let me see because you work at a very specific coffee shop. One called let me pull this up here. The Blink Dog. Blink Dog 182.
Yes,
No.
that is the one. Yes, yes, yes.
She works at the Blink Dog 182 cafe / restaurant, where they serve lunch and breakfast with different specials, such as the Queen Honey Glazed Donuts and the Rolling Fruit Scones, with choices of painted black coffee or Nirvana tea with heart-shaped herbs and singles teen spirits, stuff like that. We'll get more into the entire menu I wrote for it later, another date. But she does work there with the owner, Talia. Her name is Talia Ladrin. She is a half-elf who, you constantly, if there's anything like elegant that's supposed to happen, she refers to the fact that her ancestors were elvish. Like, yeah, I'm half-elf. And she'll be like, I'm supposed to do it. I'm ever so extravagant and lavish. And you just kind of are used to her being like, oh, darling, coming out with like a little fur coat, being like, a fur coat that has a band tee. Like, it's a fur coat that has band like stuff on it. It's kind of a weird mix of fancy and punk. She's got a weird vibe to her. She comes like, oh, would you please test this coffee for me? Oh, you're so and she's constantly just giving you lots of different, gifts, lots of love. She's basically like a second mother that you never asked for.
Aw, that's really sweet.
Yeah, she's just very appreciative of you.
I like it.
And as we go into the kind of brick and mortar establishment, that is our therapy house. Let me bring this back up to there. As we go through the city and, through the different buildings and all that kind of stuff, what brings you to the paranormal? Let me pull the full name. As you walk into the building, you see a little sign that says, welcome to the... Hold on, it's right here. I had the full name right here. Hold on. The full name, just because I like the name I wrote, was Paranormal and Supernatural Situations and Occurrences Therapy / Group Therapy Group. And yes, it does say Group Therapy Group. And then you see the second group is crossed out with a little note that says, why is it called Group Therapy Group?
That checks out.
As you walk in, you don't have to give us the whole aspect yet, but what draws you to the supernatural and unexplained kind of occurrences therapy group?
Well, so the backstory about the mishap maybe that ended me up here.
Yeah, let's give us a slight hint towards it. You can expand more upon it later. Just give us a little hint.
Okay, so you know how she does get weird looks from people who are like, "Oh, you're into that stuff? I don't know about that, and maybe I should avoid you." Well, there was one other person in her program who thought exactly the way she did, and they became best friends. They, stayed up late studying together. They dove into all this like ancient history together. They both got RA-ships with the same professor who was very selective about the students he'd take on. And then this other person disappeared. So we can go maybe more into detail of that later and how that affected her. But one thing led to another, and after multiple breakdowns, she was basically recommended, hey, go here. And so she was like, fine, I'll go here.
Hey,
and here she is.
As you're having a breakdown outside your college, in fact, I can bring up on roll 20 where your college is ish. Oh, hold on, I have to add that page. Don't look at me. Don't look. You don't see anything being added. Shh. You don't see anything being added. There's absolutely nothing on stream being added. Shh. You guys see nothing. This was here before and planned 100%. There we go. Okay. Um. There we go. So you're at your college, right? You're kind of outside your study area, your work area, going for a walk, um, and you just can't help it. You start getting your head, and you start thinking about the situation, and you're just like, God, why, fucking why? You just start getting your head again. You can't rationalize it. And it keeps like causing you to get upset, and then you just like kind of grabbed your head a little bit and shook it, trying to get yourself out of your head. And with that little moment, you just felt this old wizened presence nearby. It's hard to describe how he gives off this aura, but this kind of old homeless looking man walking around the campus, it might even made you uncomfortable a little at first, just because like it's not that you're uncomfortable necessarily with homeless people, but like he just wasn't there before. You didn't really notice him. It was just like, whoa, hi.
Yeah, I kind of jumped in surprise.
Yeah, kind of like, oh, fuck. Hi there.
Yeah,
And he's
didn't
like,
didn't see you there.
yo, look, upset. You look
Uh,
sad.
huh.
He just kind of says that in like a really cryptic, like manner. He's like, you look sad. Need it. Like you need help. And like that's kind of all he says as he kind of just like puts out like a little flyer. I can't make it, but uh, maybe you need something like this. You kind of like half-acidly toss it towards you. It floats in the air. You kind of maybe don't even like catch it midair. You just let it float to the ground and pick it up, not wanting to necessarily risk touching hands with this man. You pick up and it's a flyer. He's gonna, and as you look back up, he's gone.
Well, shit. I was gonna give you a granola bar. Fuck. All right. I take the flyer and I look at it.
From the forest, you just see a head peek out, a granola bar. It was always shit, and then he disappears back into the.
Okay, that is creepy, and I start booking it. In fact, not only that, but my personal favorite form of conveyance is my skateboard, which I plop onto the ground and I hightail it out of there.
Hell yeah, you skater the fuck out of there. Um, Not even hitting a sick grind on the way out, just purely out of fear.
Yep.
You head on out, and it took some time. You may talk to your roommates and stuff, and they're like, yeah, honestly, look, I'm not the most into like that kind of stuff. But hey, maybe he just sensed your vibe and didn't know how to talk to you. Maybe he's an awkward guy. You know, people dress weird in like not Seattle, fucking, different place. People dress differently in Oliver, you know, and Sea Rise. Like they're different places, you know. They dress weird. Maybe he's just from there. And with some kind of convincing, you find yourself kind of pulling on up to the outer area of the building. This is kind of the best building I can come up with right here. This is an unmarked kind of brick and mortar style building. With that, though, as I bring it back to Discord and bring up good old Chris Griffith here, Darren, would you like to tell us a bit about Chris Griffith? Not all the backstory, but a little bit about you. Where are you currently? What are you currently doing?
Okay. So, Chris Griffith is currently jogging around town. He is quite focused, looking around, keeping vigilant. He doesn't remember a lot of the last little while. He's only been in town for a few short weeks now. Originally, he woke up. That's the first thing that he could remember. He knows his name, and he knows another female's name. And that's about what he remembers. He's been looking for things. He generally enjoys driving around whenever he's able to rent a car.
Mm-hmm. You get
Other than that,
I'd say
yes,
you get a weird sense of satisfaction from it, almost like
yeah,
a hobby you used to do. Maybe take care of
yes,
cars.
exactly. But you get a strange sense of satisfaction, whether it's driving a car, looking at cars which he appreciates, whether they be newer exotics, older classics. But he just enjoys being busy, whether that is jogging, uh, sparring, just doing random things.
Since you
So
woke up,
he's yes,
the police station, the what's it called? Uh H. Okay, this is Homestead, so it'd be HPD. HPD, yeah,
yeah,
Homestead Police Department. Um, they 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 were fast to hire you, because of some skills and stuff. But like, they weren't because of your because you are missing an ID and any kind of memory of who you are or identification of who you are. They were you had your, like, weirdly enough, you had your detect, like your
I had
license.
my yeah, not my not my driver's license. It is the registration from the detective agency.
Exactly, you have a detective registration, um which is like an international one. So it's not like this is based in California, so I must be from
Yep.
Cali. It's like an international database.
Yes.
So you just have the international database that said Chris, and you're like, oh, I think that's my name. um all right, Chris Griffith. And you show them that, and they're like, well, you're obviously a PI. You explain your situation, and they hired you as, well, a PI. You're not an official member of the police department, as they can't legally hire you, but
Yep.
they do
More of
use
a
your
scope.
skills when they can. um and in fact, right now you're on a call right now to be watching the chief's wife. He thinks she's cheating on him with a recruit. Bored in your car, you sit there watching as she gets out of a motel, clearly cheating on the chief, deciding if you should tell him or not.
Yeah, Chris is sitting in the car. He's just, should I? Chief's been an asshole the last week, but he doesn't deserve that. Yeah, I suppose I'll
You
have
have
to
like a little
decide on
devil on your shoulder
my.
that's like, tell him, piss him off. He's been underpaying you. The angel pops up. Yeah, but like, maybe you should confront her. Maybe you can make them better. The devil, how's that your responsibility?
Just shakes his head at them and is like, stop it, you two. And uh, I mean, he has been underpaying me, but on the other hand, he doesn't have to be paying me. It's not like I've got any ID to show him. Um, yeah, fuck it. We'll decide on the way over. He gets out of the car and starts heading towards the wife. And as he gets closer, he makes a split second decision. No, we're not going to confront her. We'll head on back, speak to the chief. Let's see how he wants to deal with it. So as he turns around and walks away, he's not the tallest of people, but he's quite tall. He's about 6'2". He's very obviously athletic, obviously
Mm-hmm.
being fits being a private investigator. He is used to running around and being on his feet the whole day.
Right. You're no
He's got
bodybuilder, but you're fit.
yeah, yeah. He's sort of what you would expect from like an amateur athlete. Not nothing outrageous, world record setting or anything. But, he's got a few party tricks.
Right.
So he's got just pale blue eyes, dark head of hair. At the moment, he's wearing essentially a three-piece business suit with a long overcoat, a gray overcoat on.
A rented three-piece suit. So like the tie is like the most
Naturally.
stereotypical like black tie. Everything about
Yeah,
it is just like
exactly.
non-personalized. You look like you're doing your best.
Yeah. And the only reason he's even wearing this is because,
He
well,
has to.
she said he needs to. When he's on the job, he needs to look presentable. He would
Fair.
much rather be in his shell-looking little pale shirt, unfastened tie with his blue overcoat on. But yeah, that's generally how Chris Griffin looks, what he's doing at the moment. The worst part of everything that's going on, why in the hell has he been staring and hearing about this building that he needs to be going to? The chief said that if he doesn't get his head out of his ass, that he's going to be sent to therapy.
And the thing is, the chief said, now I don't know what happened to you, and at the end of the day, no one really knows what the fuck happened to you. So, instead of trying to pretend I know what therapy you need to go to or any of that bullshit. I'm gonna. He pulled out like a local like helper line, like slid it to you. Listen, call up something there. Tell them what's going on with you, and they'll send you in the right little area. All right. You got like a week to get your head out of your ass, or else you're gonna call that line. It's been a week. You're still kind of in your head, not sure what's going on or what's left from right. So you decide to call. Bring! You call it up.
Just before he calls, though, he like, "Oh yeah, Chief. By the way, your wife's cheating on you," and then he just walks out.
He just, as you say that, you're like, you stop, you grab the door, and on your way out, you're like, by the way, Chief. He like, huh? What? Your wife. That case? Yeah? What about it? Yeah, she been fucking him. And just like leaves without another fucking word as he starts breaking down in tears. He fucking throws his chair out of his window as you're exiting the parking lot to go to your car to call.
I need to remember to go and see if that chair is still salvageable. My apartment is pretty bare.
Not even kidding. Go grab the chair.
Yeah, and he'll go and grab the fucking chair.
As the boss goes up to grab his own chair, he's like, where's my chair? Fuck! And like gets back in even more angry. You put the fucking chair in your trunk and watch your boss get angry that his chair is missing.
That's what happens when you throw shit out of the window, boss.
He says, what is this, a charity?
Ha!
Thing.
I mean, I believe the general rule of thumb is you leave it on the street, it's free to keep.
That is true. That is fucking true. That is the way of the streets. And shopping on it. So, as you call, you hear, ring, ring. Hello there. This is the, therapy and, St. Ho's, a helpline. How can I help you? What do you need help with?
I think I've got the wrong number, maybe.
No, we're the local hospital, St. Hosafi's.
I'm supposed to contact somebody because apparently, according to the chief, at least my head is up my ass.
I see, and you kind of explain that like you don't have a memory. Weird stuff has been happening. That like while you're out on cases, every now and then you think you see something, but you think it's just like something going on with your head, like little things like that, where you're like the reason like the chief has been like you got your head out of your ass. You're like, I think I saw. I don't know. I was chasing a criminal the other day, and like, they just kind of got away from me, and I swear it was like they puffed out and smoke through the woods. And he's like, you're going crazy, like little things like that, where like. Yeah, they just don't quite line up when you're running around this new town. And with that, she goes, well, I have the place for you. She hands you the directions to the same place that Shawnee is going, the supernatural and paranormal and unexplained therapies group. The next day, it actually happens to be their first meeting. Well, not first meeting, second meeting. Let's say that, second meeting. It's their second meeting. And you pull up around the same time as Shawnee. Maybe not like you see Shawnee enter, but Shawnee, you enter, and then a little bit afterwards, Chris, you start to kind of pull up and enter. Seeing the same sign with the second group crossed out with the note that says, why is it group? And as you both walk in, very similar to how I described before, it is a very thrown together, kind of looks like someone brought their chairs from home and a lot of their stuff from like their home office to kind of make this office as cozy, air quote, as they could. But you see kind of around in a circle it seems like most everyone there already friendly with each other. You see a tabaxi, a dwarf, a tiefling, a human, a slightly taller human, and a woman who looks like she has some very interesting markings and like tattoos around her body with a slight kind of pale greener skin. Interesting teeth.
Nice. I think if anything, I'd probably go over to her.
Walking over to her, she kind of smiles. Hello, are you a new member to our group? You'll be wanting to talk to him. And she points over to Tabaxi, who waves with a smile.
Oh, okay, sure, sure.
Yeah,
And
no,
I kind of
feel
went
free.
over.
She pulls up a chair next to her. Feel free to come sit next to me afterwards. He just needs to sign you in.
Okay, sure. And I head over to the tabaxi.
Similar sight when you walk in, Chris. Shawnee, you're currently at the Tabaxi when Chris walks in. Chris, you kind of just get the vibe that everyone there is just chit-chatting. As Shawnee herself has also just kind of like walked in a little bit and been like, you know, basically the new person walks in. The woman that you walked over to, Helen, she introduced herself. By the way, I'm Helen. I'll see you in a moment once you're signed in. Also waves to Chris, pointing to the tabaxi. Oh, another newcomer. Please, sign in here so you can join us and we can know you're here.
Interesting to meet you. Sure. Yeah, I guess I can sign in here.
The tabaxi, as you walk up, introduces himself. Let me bring him up on the roll 20. He is god damn, another one that I thought I had already put them up, but I didn't. Here we go. He introduces himself as, hello, nice to meet you, as he hands both first Shawnee and then Chris a little clipboard that basically just has their names on it and a number to contact you if you wanted updates for the meetings, etc. A black and white coated tabaxi looking a little bit like this, not quite any of the armor kind of looking stuff like no, the buckles and stuff in this picture, just because this is the best picture I could find that wasn't a D&D leather armor tabaxi. This is the best more modern day fit I could find for him. He has kind of a general coat, a very warm coat with fur lined around him. He's got a very lovely mane, several piercings about him, and he's actually white with black dots around him, kind of like a leopard in a way. With that, he introduces himself as, hello, I am Pinewood Candles. I am the founder of this supernatural therapy group. How are you? As I show him to you guys as well. Here we go. Pinewood Candles. Hello there.
Oh, hey, cool vibe.
Yes,
Oh,
thank you.
Why is there group 2 times?
When I hired someone to make the sign, they didn't understand when I said it's a therapy group, which is like a group therapy type thing. So they thought I was saying it twice, and then when I came by, good old Lizzie, he points to the tiefling, crossed it off for me. She noticed it first. I didn't even notice it when I put the sign up that said group twice. He puts his hand behind his head. Silly me. But anyways, I'm gonna give him his proper voice. Anyways, as you both signed down. Let's see, Shawnee and Chris. Nice to meet you two. He puts his hand out for a firm handshake to both of you. Do you reciprocate the handshake?
Very tentatively.
How about you, Chris?
Yes, he responds not enthusiastically, but quite heartily.
He shakes both your hands excitedly, enthusiastically, and with a little bit too much force. As he gestures to the empty chairs, please make yourself comfortable. We'll introduce ourselves right now, and we'll go around and let everyone know who everyone is, and we'll get all familiar and discuss the meaning of the group and all that. But for now, before you sit down, though, he does gesture up as you guys start to turn away. He does put his hand wait, hold on. Before you two sit down, though, and get yourself comfortable, I must ask, are you both sure you're comfortable sharing whatever story. I know not your story yet, but understand that by coming here, this is a therapy group. This is a discussion. You will be opening yourself up to these people. You do not know these people. They are strangers. It may take time, but you're here to discuss these situations and hopefully maybe understand or improve your mental health with this.
Chris just gives a little laugh. That's fine. Everyone is strangers to me.
He kind of chuckles. Fair. But he turns to Shawnee. But just, if you're ever uncomfortable, just feel free to say, and we can change the subject to someone else or find something else to discuss at the time. Just be communicative.
Sure, works for me.
Thank you. Helen, the half-orc woman, pats her chair next to her. Sorry, the woman with tattoos and light green skin, pats next to her and was like, come over. As I said, she like pulls your arm and, I'm Helen. Nice to meet you. I love your tattoos, by the way. She says to you,
Oh,
Sean.
thanks.
Oh my, and she starts like talking to you about tattoos and how she knows this one tattoo parlor in downtown Homestead here. Actually, she starts telling you about a little bit about it, but she isn't able to go into too great a detail before Pinewood interrupts. And you, Chris, you're able to find a seat. Let me see. There's 2 open seats. One by a human with blonde hair with a Ned Flanders type stash, and another by both the tall human and the dwarf with brown hair and a dark brown beard.
Dwarf.
A dwarf?
You look interesting. I'm sitting with you.
He's wearing just a plain polo tee with khaki shorts and a nice Birkenstock shoes. Very posh looking dwarf, but you look like his hands are still like classic dwarvish, kind of hardy. Like maybe even if he's not a mining dwarf, he's still quite a hard worker. Who looks like he likes to take care of himself. His beard is well kept and his hair is combed back. Unlike the tall human who looks to be wearing a very long hoodie and kind of not emo-esque, but like, you know, he's got very laid back kind of punky vibes with a studded white belt. He's that kind of emo, very flashy, and he happens to just kind of like look away from you as the dwarf interacts with you. Hello there, hi. Name's Michael. Nice to meet you. What's your name?
Chris Griffith. That's what the database says. At least, how are you today? You look like you're quite hardy.
Hi, name's Victor. Mikkel Victor. I'm a woodsman. I work hard chopping wood as a forester.
Makes sense. I'm a bit of an investigator myself.
Nice.
Been working with the police department recently, but it was more like a waste of my skill than anything else.
I see. As you guys are talking, Pinewood sits up and puts his clipboard down. I don't not need the clipboard as we're here to talk person to person and face to face. Hello, everybody, and morning. Welcome to the Supernatural and Paranormal kind of situation, unexplained events therapy group. And Lizzie speaks up, group, and he's like, oh, shush you. Unfortunately, yes, we'll have to replace the sign, and the name is still a work in progress. We might be the Paranormal and Unexplained Situation Society soon, or who knows, but for now, I just decided to call it frankly, what kind of is a therapy group. And luckily today, we're meeting a lot of new, strong, and brave faces today. And so why don't we start today, in today's session, with, while we go around the room, introduce ourselves for the second session ever of the Paranormal and Strange Traumas Fellowship. Ooh, I like that, fellowship. Maybe you might use a fellowship. Anyway, first off, I'd like to thank you all for opening yourselves for the healing and let others hear your stories. Let's start with, myself. I am scented pinewood candles, but you may call me Pine or Pinewood or Wood or Candles or Scented, whatever floats your boat. I am a he/him tabaxi from right here in Evergrowth. My paranormal trauma or, situation, as he fidgets with a ring on his left hand. My wife disappeared a few years back. One night I awoke to find her no longer in bed. I found the window open and footprints leading to the woods. I'm pretty certain she didn't just leave without telling me neither. No, her family, where she went. I know my friends have said the same thing, that maybe her family's just protecting her. Maybe they're lying, and they're all lying, and she just left me. But you guys, you must understand, as we were 5 years deep into our marriage. It's not like she was just left without telling me. We were good and talking, and he starts to, like, a little tear comes down his cheek. I thought we were happy, so, like, it's not like she could. I don't think she just could have left. I don't personally know what took her, or why she left at all. However, I do know there were insanely small footprints there. Insanely small. That look like little people. I don't know how to explain it, but they looked like footprints. The authorities told me they were just fucking squirrels, but there's no way that the squirrels left that massive scratch mark on both the doors and the handle. And the paw print on the window. You can't explain that with fucking squirrels. He composes.
Can I explain that with squirrels?
No, definitely not. You're maybe, Chris, pondering in your head, like, well, shit, I mean, there's gotta be an explanation, right? But you're thinking in your head, he gives you, like, a rough estimate with his hands, the size of the footprints. Let me see. I would say, God, as I was going to set my camera for today. We're going to set up camera in the future. The issue is I just didn't feel like getting my lighting set up today. So today is just going to be the one day without camera. But in the future for D20 Modern, you guys will be seeing my face up on the screen as I interact and physically show off a lot of these things. Just today, I couldn't figure out my lighting. It was giving me a bit of a bitch feeling today. And was being just a complete asshole. So I apologize for no camera today. I will take time to figure it out and get it working next time. Again, I apologize. Just today was just being rude.
Good.
So, roughly the size of a little over a hand. So, like, a footprint, I would say is like a little bit bigger than your hand. Most people's footprint, at least my footprint, I would say is bigger than my hand by at least an entire half a hand's length. So for the average person, I would probably say your foot, unless it's at least the size of or bigger than your hand, at least roughly around that size. Using his hand, you see, this is like half the size of his hand. It looks like, well, if we're just being appropriate and honest, the smaller people, such as gnomes and dwarves, even their footprints would still match the size that they're kind of supposed to be, So even if it was like in reference to like their size, it would still be big enough. This is extremely tiny, like honestly, you might even call it a squirrel or a badger even. Maybe too big for a squirrel, but maybe the size of a small dog, But that's just kind of using your general, like, inference and detective skills, Chris, from what you're able to see so far. Maybe if he lets you investigate the scene itself, you can get a bit more knowledge. But for now, that's kind of the general, from what you've seen, the general vibe is that maybe it was like a dog size, but certainly not human sized.
Just sort of, he's thinking all this, nodding along, but I need to speak to him after that session. I might be able to look into that a bit.
So, while this is happening, Shani has turned the paper over on her clipboard and is doodling. And what she's doodling, she's trying to come up with a visual kind of artistic rendition of what he's describing with the footprints and stuff. And so she just kind of like idly flips around. Does it look anything like that?
So he, to help kind of give the full description, he does describe it as there's bestial claws, he does describe him as like kind of like, you know, almost like dog or animal prints, but very tiny. You flip it around and describe to me the kind of image you're going for. Are you going for like Bigfoot? Are you going for Chupacabra? Are you going for like the swamp man of Swampy Swamp? Like, what kind of vibe are you drawing up?
I'm going for like a tiny goblin from D&D-ish vibe.
Okay, he kind of like, possible. Don't get me wrong, but these were beast claws. It's hard to describe. They're not. Maybe it had a knife or something. Maybe it was slashes upon the door, not claws. And maybe they just happened to represent a look similar to clawed marks. And now he starts pondering even more. And honestly, I didn't even think it could be a goblin. You think you actually got something like in his head that maybe he didn't even think of. I don't know, but I don't know how to process this info. But he kind of smiles. Here we are trying, as he continues. Not necessarily rationalizing what happened, but finding comfort that seemingly random misfortune is not just a burden. That's something I myself have to deal with. He smiles. Thank you for attempting to rationalize and help explain this as well, but he just kind of smiles. Worry not. He just he hands you back the drawing. If you like, we can discuss my situation later, but we should give everyone a turn. As he hands back your drawing. Next up, would you mind going next? He gestures to his right. The dwarf, actually right next to you, Chris. Sure. He stands up, wiping off his polo tee. I was, followed by this horrid beast one night. I was walking home from the woods, and you see he gently holds, like, you didn't really notice it before, Chris, because, like, dwarves already are kind of hardy and scarred, but you notice a scar along his, like, kind of left forearm that he holds a little tighter as he talks about this. I was followed by this beast one night. You know, to keep it short, it was something. I was going between the woods, the trees, and even when I went back onto the site-roaded street, it crawled after me, and it had its head split open. And he starts crying as he puts his head to the ground. God damn it! Every time, everyone so far has told me it's like a fucking dog or something that was hurt or injured. I should have helped it. It was coming out of the dark, but no. I got me dark vision. Damn it! I know what I saw. I can't. He starts tearing up, like not even able to fully get everything out. As Pinewood pats him on the shoulder and speaks up. Hey, it's okay. Try again when you can. Alright, something crawled after you and split its head open. That's very scary. Don't push yourself. I'm trying to relive it. Take a moment. Let's go through everybody, and then we'll get to the new people. Let everyone else introduce themselves first, so you don't have to. Going through, everyone kind of introduces themselves. Lizzie Kurtz, the tiefling with a purple skin, flowing red hair, and curling ramish horns, introduces herself. Hello, I'm Lizzie. I live also here in a homestead, kind of on the edge, heading up towards Oliver, and near the college. I live somewhat near the woods, but I feel like when I go for walks in a path nearby my house at the park, I feel like I'm also being watched, but not quite like the dwarf where something was obviously stalking and chasing him. I feel like every time I look around, it's not there anymore. It's always close or nearby, but I can never see it. Something creaks nearby and taps my window at night, watching me. she also starts like tearing up. And I don't want to talk about it anymore. And then the next person, Jeff Lovitz, a human man with blonde hair and a pleasant Ned Flanders stash. He claims he once knew fishermen. I'm an old fisherman. A sea dog, you might say. I don't want to give all the men the same accent. I'm changing his accent. You know what? I used to walk by the port, you see, and well, the issue is there's a reason I don't work near the port anymore. I live in Homestead still. Now I work at a bar. Don't worry, he puts his hand up. I'm not a classic stereotype. I'm not drinking myself to death. Just trying to get a different job than by the port side. But the men who I know by the port side still talk about the sea king, the sea hound king, or what the fucking legend they talk about there. I swear I once saw it dragging a man down the beach, eating him alive, killing him. I don't want to talk. I don't want to live near there. I don't want to be near there. And I don't go by the port no more, but it was like an otter, a giant otter, who ate one of my good friends there. And every now and then, I swear, you see it under the water by the port. It's a giant creature, furry. All I could see was his head as it dragged him in under the waves. I was looking for him, calling for him for 10 minutes. I was supposed to get his help to lift a box, and he just never came. And then I saw him being dragged under the water, screaming for me. I mean, what was I supposed to do? Attack it? He was this giant fucking creature. As he starts getting a little like upset and angry, Helen, next to you, Shawnee, puts her hand on his lap. It's like, it's okay. No one expected you to save him. Alright, he was a giant creature. No one expected you to save him. And he starts, once again, much like everyone, tearing up and getting angry. Finally ending up with Helen, actually. Shawnee, the woman next to you. She just very calmly says, "My brother went missing near Lake Shalini. I don't have any proof of anything, but my brother and I were canoeing, and we saw something massive underneath our canoe. It knocked us over. I was able to pull myself back up and over, but he never did. And now he's gone. Here I am, still wondering why I'm the one who's not missing." Ending with the tall emo man who just very quietly goes, "Ugh. We all know Bat Squatch. Trolls. Goddamn trolls. Everywhere. All working with Bat Squatch and like... Ugh. Everyone calls me a conspiracy theorist. I'm sure you all think the same, but the trolls, they just want to troll me. Literally, troll me. They're just messing with me. They follow me everywhere. Little trolls, and then Bat Squatch he's working with them. He stands up, pushing his chair back. He works with them. Bat Squatch, I swear. He's everywhere. Watching me. He's outside that window, I bet. Watching. He yells at the window nearby. "I see you, motherfucker! I bet you're nearby!"
Shawnee goes and looks out the window.
Even Chris looks around and is like, "Is there something over here?"
Everyone kind of takes a moment to look. There's nothing outside. As far as you can tell.
Looks clear to me.
I mean, you say that now, but then suddenly he pops up later, and I'm the only one who sees him. And like he starts like mumbling under his breath as he sits back down. Well, thank you, everybody. And that leaves us with, well, our two new people. Either one of you would like to maybe speak up first?
I just give Chris a look.
He shrugs. I'm fine playing first. Honestly, compared to some of the stories I've heard here today, mine might be a bit underwhelming for all of you. I've been in the area for a couple of weeks, maybe a month and a bit now. I woke up beaten bloody in the hospital. Apparently, my name is Chris Griffiths. I had my investigative badge with me. I'm an investigator. And that's about the extent of my knowledge. I've recently been working with the Homestead Police Department as a consultant. Other than that, I can't tell you about any paranormal experiences I've had, as I do not recall anything about my life except the woman's name from before I woke up in the hospital. He gives a little shrug. What can you
Pinewood
do?
speaks up. May I ask the name?
It's Nikki.
Nikki.
Apparently I know a lady named Nikki.
Interesting. Pinewood smiles. I know not necessarily if yours is paranormal, but certainly an unexplained event. So you are still more than welcome here, my friend. Do not feel out of place. And at the end of the day, who knows? Maybe the reason you're here is because of something paranormal that is yet to be explained or yet to be discovered. Something
That is
new.
entirely possible. Yeah. Look, I'm in here with an open mind. On that note, if you need anyone to look at any of these things that you're in, I might have pissed off the chief of the police department earlier today. I might have a bit of free time on my hands.
They all kind of laugh and chuckle. So you're going to be our group's personal detective. Well, interesting. He smiles. Though, if I'm sure none of us would necessarily be against having a thorough detective look at all our cases. Hell, maybe that could be part of the group therapies. We all visit the scenes and accidents and maybe try to relive it together. That might be a good group therapy to kind of comfort each other. See how similar we are. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that might be a good idea. No problem. He shrugs. Like I said, I'm not as bad as many of you. I'm just trying to help.
He turns to you, Shawnee. And you are ever so quiet, but, inquisitive artist. What brings you here?
So before I launch into what brought Shawnee here, I just want to add that, Chris, when you were talking about how you work with the PD, you might have catch Shawnee's expression of just this big eye roll, and she goes, ah. But she seems to have warmed up and gotten a little more interested as your story progressed.
Probably when I started saying that I pissed off the chief, maybe there's a connection there.
Yeah.
Now Chris is keeping that in mind.
Yeah. When you said you pissed off the chief, she's like, okay.
Oh, so he's not like that kind of cop. I see.
Oh, well, that remains to be seen. So she, she's kind of cautious.
Love that.
But
Yeah,
anyway.
I should have done this the whole time. My bad. There you go. Now you guys have your characters represented in.
That's
scene.
awesome. That's awesome.
There
All
we
right,
go. And
so
I also have general art. Let's see. Here's Lizzie. She is a tiefling. This is the best I kind of have for them. Not necessarily the final art for them, but just like the best I have for now. There you go. And that's all I have. There we go. So here's your crew. So please continue.
All right. So Shawnee starts going into some weird convoluted thing about her research and how it's related to XYZ historical event.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, and then my roommate called me. It was the middle of the night. And she said, Shawnee, you got to get over here. I've had a breakthrough. I was like, well, okay. So I, get on my stuff and head out the door, head to the library where she supposedly is. I get there. No one's seen her. No one's heard of her.
No one's heard of her even.
No one's even heard of her. I asked my professor the next day, hey, have you seen Keiko? No. No one even heard of her. So, that girl's been my best friend since I got here.
And so this is Isaac as well, because I know I didn't know that last part. So no one has even heard of her. So it's not just that she disappeared. after she called you to the library about this magnificent breakthrough in the case. It's like
I
she's
just
off the map completely.
I just totally made that last part up at like the last minute, which is why you didn't know about it.
Oh, okay.
We can make it. We can make it that like the library people never saw her that night, so they didn't hear of her in that way. But if you think it's a good idea, maybe no one's ever heard of her.
Okay. That might be more believable or more explainable.
Okay.
So that it's just like, oh, they just didn't see, like, those people specifically just didn't know. Okay.
Okay.
That makes more sense. I was like, damn, a student that just disappeared. Oh, I see.
Yeah. All right. So I go to the professor the next day, and she says, "Yeah, hasn't shown up. Hasn't shown up at all. Doesn't know about the work that we were working on. Doesn't know about this breakthrough. Never got the message." So that's my story. I just lost my best friend, and no one knows where she went. And my professor's just, yeah, maybe he's in on it. I don't know. Ask the
all you
police.
know, yeah.
I asked the police, and she says, staring at Chris. They told me I was crazy. Well, how else do you explain it? She folds her arms and just kind of sits back in the couch.
Pinewood puts his hand over his heart. It's like, I feel for you. So your if I'm understanding correctly, your professor had no knowledge of this incident, just that she didn't show up for a while?
Well, she wasn't around the next day. He didn't know about the research she'd been working on.
So
I
did
think,
she ever mention this research to you beforehand?
Yeah, but I thought he was in on it. Guess not.
Okay, so you knew about it, but the professor
I
didn't.
know about it. Yeah, we've been, trading ideas on it and, trying to go over interpretations and stuff. But professor's like, I don't know. Just
Well,
turn in that assignment.
in that case, if you do are somewhat aware of it, do you have any idea why she wouldn't have told her professor?
Beats me. You'd think this would be grounds for like a thesis or something.
Pinewood shrugs. Well, as I do not know what she was studying, and I can only bring up vague understandings of your studies, as I am not a professional in this field. Because it sounds quite interesting. Chris, do you, as a consultant of the PD, do you have any input on this? Darren?
Sorry, I don't know why it's not doing it. In any case, yeah, no, we haven't heard anything about someone going missing, especially at the college. Uh, Has it been reported?
Yeah, I reported. Of course, the campus police might have buried it. Maybe they're in on it too.
You reported it to the campus police, not to us. I've gone through all. There's literally nothing to do for me at work this week. I've gone through every single case we've gotten in, and there was nothing about a report of someone missing.
To be fair, this the college would be more up in Oliver, while you're a HPD, so that would be more like OPD.
Yeah, yeah, but especially he's thinking along the lines of, well, the kid's gone missing, so that's something that would spread between departments to keep your eye open.
Would it? There's not really much PD inter kind of like talking, but
Oh no. In general, if it's missing persons things, that usually gets, especially college, school age people going missing, that quickly gains attention in the police at least.
All right. I'll say yeah. You probably maybe would have at least heard of people keeping an eye out for someone.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is interesting. Then either way, you definitely didn't hear. So either way, you're assuming that you should have, and either way, you definitely didn't hear.
Well, that's the story.
Well, Pinewood speaks up. Thank you for sharing. And thank you for answering questions, as it is a very, I mean, this is not to put down anyone else, but you definitely shared, I think, amongst the most. And thank you for elaborating and being comfortable with us. And I really feel that, you know, first of all, I personally, as someone who's also lost someone in inexplicable circumstances, I really feel for you. And I'm very sorry that this occurred to you. I can only imagine the confusion that was going through you, just thinking about what was happening to your friend, etc. I won't continue on. I don't want to push, but thank you. I just want to say thank you for sharing.
Yeah, sure.
With that, we're going to. He kind of goes into a general set of games and talking about as icebreakers, just fun games that they do at therapy groups. We're not gonna play it because for fuck's sake, we're not gonna go through that awkward, oh, this is a game we play just to try to get to know each other better. Tell me one thing about yourself, two truths and a lie, stuff like that, right? Unless you guys would want to play two truths and a lie as your character.
Yeah, why not? I'm a god. I died before, and I am very, very, very rich. Joke's on you. All of them are true.
I was just gonna say, I wonder which one's the lie. So just as kind of overall skip the kind of quick little therapy intro stuff. He just kind of gets into you guys just generally understand each other a little bit. Lizzie is talking to you about tattoos. Shawnee. Let me see. Who did you sit by? The dwarf Michael. Is a bit more open into chatting with you since you did chat with him a bit before everything. Jeff Lovitz is chatting with Pinewood, or just kind of with anyone who wants to, and David. He didn't introduce himself. My bad. His name is David Goliath, a guy who the tall emo person talking about Bat Squatch. He who looks a little paranoid. He kind of talks to Jeff, but you see he's kind of keep glancing out the window, not really talking to anyone specifically. So Jeff kind of just just floats between different people's conversations. But as the different kind of groups and like little social bits kind of form, as all groups do, Pinewood lets you guys just kind of chat for a bit, kind of get to know each other and understand, as this is the first session. I don't really have, or not, it's the second session, and since we have so many new people, instead of delving into a therapy kind of deep discussion, I'd rather us kind of get to know each other a bit more. And we don't do this every time there's a new person, but just because it's a second session and so many new people are joining, let's just get to know each other a bit more and just bond and grow. We get to understand each other's scenarios. But if I do notice that we are winding down, we're not discussing much, I do have a short topic we can discuss at the end. I'll just let you guys know what it is in case you guys want to switch to it. Kind of general, awkward therapy vibes where he's trying not to, he's not sure what to do next, right? You tell he's kind of doing his best. You get the vibe that maybe Pinewood Candles isn't a therapist, but he's doing his best to try to make this group work. He's like, yes, the general topic, if you guys happen to be, is feelings. If you guys would like to, at the end, discuss how this has all made you feel, to kind of help explore your eternal emotions a bit better. But first, please keep talking, as Lizzie is telling you about her favorite tattoo place in Homestead. It is called Hellish Expressions, or but a lot of people nearby just refer to as Hell's Rebuke. run by Jasper Eswelt, a human tattoo artist, and his assistant Dragonborn, piercer slash body modder, Garrick Halfstead. She tells you about how wonderful they are. They'll give you such good touch-ups if you want it, but in honesty, she doesn't think you need it. She thinks you could do a new tattoo, like fill up your sleeve on your right or left arm. She just kind of goes off about it, telling you about it. Not really focused on the therapy itself. While you, Chris, Michael, opens up a bit more about his wood story if you want to hear about it.
Dude, that's not even a question. And actually, he's listening, full attention. He enjoys doing physical things, and now he's speaking with a lumberjack. I said, he's enjoying the hell out of himself.
Absolutely. Besides just the general man-to-man nature of talking to a lumberjack, that I'm sure Chris would enjoy. There's also just the sense of like, I don't know, maybe even brothership. The sense of like this man who's also gone through a similar trauma, has a similar vibe as you, someone who you're able to kind of reach out to. You question, you're like maybe asking like you're hey, if you're comfortable, you want to talk about it, whatever. I don't know how would you approach the question with him if he's kind of just like talking to you. He seems warmed up to you.
Yeah, I tell him a bit more about what I've been doing with the local police department, and then I'm just like, it wasn't a bad idea going checking out some of these places. I see Lizzie would be quite interested in going with us, and then he takes a look around the room. Everyone might be interested, but and he looks at the door.
He's clenching
Would
his
you be
fist.
comfortable with it?
Yeah, at that, even just idea of visiting, he clenches his fist. If I'm being honest,
Yeah.
not really. But that's the thing. It's near my work, so I'm uncomfortable every day. So I was like, am I gonna live my life uncomfortable, or am I gonna eventually?
Just puts a hand on his shoulders, like, you do not need to face this alone. We're here for you.
I appreciate that. I think if we do happen to visit it, maybe we'll just do mine last, so I get more comfortable with you people. But I do appreciate that you guys. He does say this out loud to everyone as he kind of interrupts the group a little bit. I do appreciate all of you, not just you, Chris. I appreciate you wanting to hear me out most, but I appreciate all of you for, wanting to come here and make this group. And, well, I'm not necessarily the most comfortable yet talking about every detail. I'm appreciative of all of you for wanting to get through this and be better. He gets kind of back to quiet as you guys kind of return back to your conversations. He returns back to you, Chris. If I'm being honest, he leans in. You ever hear of a creature that crawls on all four, splits his head open, looks like a mangled mutt?
Heard of such things? Yes. Seen some things like that? Seen evidence of it? Not really.
Go to give me, we'll do our first kind of roll for D20 Modern. Go to give me a general. Shit, I'm gonna need to bring up that D20 Modern sheet so I have a reference for all the skills again. My word.
You don't worry. I need to find either a dice generator or get out my dice.
Yeah, you're probably gonna have to just get out your dice, if I'm being honest. um,
I'm a big fan of roll a die.
Yeah, that's not gonna work. Let me get my dice.
Yeah, let me bring up this sheet real quick from Wizards of the Coast. Okay, so from the character sheet, give me a knowledge check, and if you happen to have it, this is something I was wanting to talk about today and see how well y'all would know, and we would assign this knowledge. We're gonna have knowledge, cryptids / folklore. So let's discuss that real quick. Shawnee, you probably have some pretty good cryptid / folklore, so feel free to add that into your knowledge thing as an expertise, so add your full intelligence kind of bonus to it. As a police officer or a private investigator, do you think you would have that, Chris, very well, or like have like a half expertise, maybe like a general knowledge
I
what people may
I would say no, he wouldn't, for the simple reason he would be focusing more on things that he definitely knows would be
like
there.
facts? Okay.
Yeah.
So would that be under something like arcane lore?
No. So there is the
If you look at
knowledge where you can
knowledge,
just
there's
kind
two
of like
different
fill
knowledge.
in knowledge, put knowledge, and just
Okay.
fill in cryptid and folklore. We'll just call that
Okay.
like its own personal knowledge that can get filled in.
All right. I might want to shuffle around my skill points to put something into that.
If need be, you can
Um,
always go down below to some of the blank ones and just write out it as its own individual and just make it a intelligence based thing if that's easier.
okay.
Okay, so I'm just rolling the d20 and adding. This is my skill modifier.
I would say your int modifier, your general intelligence, since you don't have anything to the cryptid or lore.
Okay, I'm pretty smart. I'm not genius smart, but I'm pretty smart. That is a 16.
16. Look, yeah, you know somewhat of this. I'm not gonna give you the name of the creature or anything that could have possibly been like harassing this guy. That's something that maybe
Yeah,
a
that's
bit.
great because you wouldn't really know that.
Yeah. I would say you probably have heard of reports of people were of what you would say, and you would probably have even investigated them. You guys probably sent animal control to them. Were like reports of like a mangy mutt or something attacking people up, in North End, where the dwarf is from, around North End.
Hmm. Uh, I'm gonna be honest with you. We might have sent some animal control for things like you're describing, but I cannot claim to personally have dealt with anything similar. I he sort of looks almost disappointed. I usually deal in facts, things that I can discern and determine that is real that happened, be it a man beating his wife, a wife beating a son, whatever the case may be. I usually deal in that more than in the unknown.
Aye. So you'd be more like trying to figure it out what it is with us. You're just giving us your skills of investigation.
I I can probably I'm not gonna say I can. I can probably figure some things out about it if I, like you said, there would have been a bunch of marks and things. So if I actually get in there, I might discern some things, but just off of my knowledge, I'm a bit stuck.
Hey, well, I might be able to find you some markings from there. No cops have taken evidence or nothing. No one believed me, so
Well,
it's likely
I'm
that there
still an
is some
official
markings there.
consultant, so if you would like, we can go up and investigate it. We can make this an official investigation.
Aye. Well, if you're gonna be looking into every one of ours, you might want to make this just a general investigation of all these
Oh,
local legends.
yeah, yeah, maybe local legend investigation.
Aye. I can take you there. I don't want to look into too many of these, but I can at least take you to mine. You're probably gonna want company though for if you look into anyone else's. That Shawnee gal seems to be very bright. I know you guys know it's a bit stereotypical to put the two new people together, but like, she seems quite investigative, intelligent, much like yourself.
You give it a little nod. Honestly, from what she described, seems quite intelligent.
And that's when you notice that she's staring at you while she's hearing all about this tattoo shop. She's just kind of looking at you, two conversing.
He waves. The dwarf kind of just waves to you.
She says,
Chris
excuse
also just looks at the dwarf and just starts waving.
All right, she heads over to them. What are you two talking about?
Lizzie looking not hurt, but kind of like, I was talking about the tattoo. Oh, She got up like, you two are interrupting our conversation. Not blaming Shawnee, but thinking that you two are distracting her. Um, they both get up to you guys. So now it's just basically Pinewood, David Goliath, and Jeff over there on their own a little bit. It's you two, Lizzie, and Michael. They're like, hey, so you, Shawnee, I've noticed, we noticed you're very intelligent and you're, well, I mean, you're quite the knowledgeable person, eh? Not exactly a, easily deceived person.
She shrugs tentatively, like, okay, where's this going?
Well, let's just say, we've been, Chris here is talking about the investigating in general, and, well, after talking a bit, he likes the idea of, actually investigating, not just, like, offering as a group, but, like, actually doing it, and, well, I mean, if he's gonna start making a little paranormal investigation agency of himself, he's gonna need some help. I'm not sure how I feel about joining it right off the bat for like everything. I can show mine. I don't know how helpful I'd be. Lizzie, without even like a moment's hesitation, oh my god, yes, I would love to join. I wasn't asking, but all right. Lizzie, she's like already pulling her phone out to hand it to both Shawnee, Michael, and you, Chris, for your numbers. She's like, we're going to be making a secret little society group, and we're going to investigate each other's little incidences. It's going to be so great.
Chris just sort of looks up and thinks to himself, I was only offering to investigate for the police. I didn't want to start my own business. Oh, well, I mean, I guess there is a good point in it. I guess I can start earning more money again instead of the shit pay that the chief has been giving me. I can finally furnish my apartment. I don't need to take shit off the street anymore.
Hey, I can design your logo for you.
Chris just snaps his head up like, okay. He remembers that logos are expensive. Yes, I'm not going to say no.
But you are going to find my friend, right?
No, I'm not going to find your friend. And he sort of comfortingly puts a hand on her forearms like, we're going to find your friend.
She just smiles so broadly at that, and she's like, I'm in. You, sir, have yourself a personal logo designer.
Lizzie, because you have yourself a personal, well, I mean, like, I'm a tax consultant on my, like, normal day-to-day basis, and a, kind of a, like a wood turner, and like a woodcraft, like, I do woodworking, so, like, if you need anything wooden, that's neat. And Michael just goes, you got me, so, like,
You just see Chris' eyes light up, and he's like, I can get a table. I can get a desk.
Absolutely.
For my chair. And he just looks outside to his car. I can get a desk for my chair.
So how about tonight then? We'll go on our first little investigation. Who should we do first? Like, I'm totally scared of the person tapping outside my window, by the way, if you guys also wanted to investigate it. So we can either look at, Shawnee's college area, see that. We can look into my, well, little creepy forest stalker. She gives like a ew kind of vibe. Or we can look into Michael's, well, also forest stalker, but more this little inbred dog.
He looks towards Shawnee, and I suppose it would be safest to start with the tapping at the window. I think going to the forest, especially since our friend here isn't very, very keen on exploring his first, it might be a bit risky. Let's start off with something which we might find less of a risk. At least in your home, it's just a tapping on your window. We can discern that, especially with quite a few of us. Yeah. He gives a little nod as he's been muttering to himself. He's like, yeah, I think let's start with your little window stalker.
Amazing. All right, then tonight we'll do our first little adventure. Um, what? Oh God, we're gonna have to think of what to call ourselves. Oh, we'll have to think about that later. All right. For now, we'll just call ourselves the paranormal and unexplained events therapy group expansion or some shit. I don't know. We'll come up with a name later.
Yeah, let's think on that a little bit.
With that though, a little
Just
clock
sort of like,
dings
yeah, let's think of
off.
it later while thinking. So that's not gonna fucking happen.
A nice clock on the table dings off. Ding dong ring boom. Do 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 do. That's all the time we have for today. Pinewood speaks up. Thank you everyone for showing up. I hope you guys come back next week. Please do take care of yourselves and remember, if anything happens, y'all have my number. The number I am the basically the number for the therapy group. Call if you need anyone to talk to or a safe place. We will be discussing next week the emotions and getting into that.
Chris just sort of stands up unexpectedly and puts it on the little side table a business card of him is with his cell phone number on. I know we spoke about it a bit. Just here's my number if you're ever really thinking of me.
He just Pine smiles. So thank you. I'll make sure to put that away. Um, and as he excuses all of you, you all go and Lizzie gives you her address where she lives. She lives in kind of South Homestead area. Or not south. Northeast. East. There you go. East. So I'm trying to figure out like in the area. So it'd be kind of like southeastish. It's a little south, but not fully south. Southeast. Homestead a little bit, and near some of the forested parks and all that. She gives you her address, and you guys head off on your way for let's say 5-ish hours until you guys gotta meet each other at her place tonight. What before we end today's session, what do each of your guys' characters do to get ready for both the next session, our first, session 1, and also your first kind of air quote investigation?
Chris is honestly gonna start looking around to see if he, well, since I'm going on an investigation now, he's going back to the chief of police. And he's going to be like, dude, I know I've been traveling around doing these things for you. Uh, I need a weapon. I need a weapon.
The chief chortles out a bit. I can't give anything without without a license and nothing like that. So
He gives a little smile. That's true. However, you're the chief of police. You can give me a license if I prove my competency.
all right, here's this, right? He hands you a slip. Go get mace and a police baton to keep yourself safe. All right, you'll get that from our armory. Then you come in next week. You take a shooting course for 2 weeks, and then you get a competency test. And then, if you pass that competency test, then fine, I'll give you your handgun.
He gives a little thank you for the mace and the baton. That I'm definitely taking that. That's already a huge help. I'm good to take the competency test now. If you feel you want me to wait until next week, fine. Fair. But
It's just part of the rules. If I'm gonna give you any kind of license like that, you do just it's a mandatory 2 classes. It's part of the state that you do have to attend.
that's fine. That's fine. Like I said, I completely understand. Uh, but since it's then a full-on license, it does not need to be just a handgun. I am an investigator, though, so
Well, that's what I can only
don't,
give
I
you
do not
without an
need a
ID. I
bigger
can't
weapon.
give you a large arms license. I can give you a small arms.
That's exactly. I don't need a larger weapon, but I do need more than one. So you can just give me a normal issue handgun, and then I don't want a second small arms, if you want to call it that. I need dispensation from you to carry a knife. It is still seen as a lethal weapon. I just need dispensation.
He strokes his beard. Give me till tomorrow. Just take the mace and the baton for now.
Yes, that's fine.
Give me till tomorrow. Come back and we'll see what we do about the knife, and then we'll handle the classes for your gun.
Fair. Thank you, Chief. Appreciate it.
Right.
Also, sorry about your wife. And then he jogs out again.
Starts crying again.
Yeah, I'm hoping he throws his fucking PC down.
He throws. Let me roll. See how lucky you get from him throwing his shit out. Let me see, and let me go set up general. There we go. Let's put it here for now. Let me see. Let's see. That's a 17. He throws his fax machine out the window. / printer.
Fuck it. What do you want me to do? A reflex? I'm gonna try and catch the fucking printer.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
have a
Go to
printer.
give me
You
a
know,
reflex.
it's
See if you can
printers.
catch it midair.
Okay, luckily I've got a decent reflex save. D20 plus 7. That's a 21.
Yeah, you're able to catch it midair, almost like you were expecting it at this point. Every time you piss
Yeah.
off your chief, he sends something out the window.
Yeah, the boot's already open. Put it in with the chair, and I was like, "Damn, Chief, that thing flew all the way!" And he points in the opposite direction.
God damn it! He runs through a hedge trying to go get his fucking fax machine as you close it. You close your trunk.
He just chuckles as he gets into his car. He's like, "No, I've got a chair and a fax machine. I just need Michael or someone to build me a desk."
Shawnee, how do you get ready for the investigation tonight?
Well, interesting you should ask. You see, Shawnee's lost her phone. It's broken. In other words, she didn't have the wealth bonus necessary to get one. So she's gonna borrow a friend's and give her old man a call and beg for some money so she can get ready.
Hello there, Shawnee. Good to hear from my little Shawnee Wani again. How are you?
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, good. You know how it is with your third mother. She's being herself as usual. How is my little Shawnee doing in school?
Oh, you know, things are all right. Things are okay. Yeah. About that, I lost my phone. And
oh lord. Well, let's see. What's your grades been recently?
Hey, they have been straight A's except for physics. But I was just taking that because I didn't even need to take that.
He's like, go ahead and roll me a persuasion check for your father.
What's that?
Roll me a persuasion roll for your father.
Oh shoot, persuasion.
Mm-hmm. See me how persuasive. You can get +2 to that, just generally from.
All right, D20 +2 because
from reputation. I read the book.
Is persuasion a skill? I don't see it here.
If it's not persuasion, just give me a charisma roll then, and we'll use that.
Right. I've got a good charisma. I've got a +2 charisma. So
you have +4 overall to it, at least.
Okay, not bad.
Oh, I guess it would be like diplomacy? I don't know. I'll have to get myself used to this again.
Yeah, I guess we gotta...
Yeah,
it would probably be diplomacy.
Diplomacy. Bluff is for if you're doing deception.
Right. I'm just like having to get myself used to the 3.5-ish kind of skill system again. But yeah, no, 14 works. Your dad's like, listen, honey, things have been a little tight. I've had to get your mother a third diamond pair of earrings for scandalous behavior. So therefore, I can afford to give you, let's see, 250 to get yourself a phone, something decent. Not a high end smartphone, but you can get yourself a touchscreen.
Oh, thanks, Dad. You're the best.
Yes,
How
yes,
is it that
yes.
you get a better phone than I currently have?
Yeah.
Well, I'm richer.
What can she say? Daddy's wonderful to have.
Yeah, not just that. You've got ID. I don't have ID.
Identification bias is how life goes. So
The
you
worst
get
part is
a
I can't even get an ID
you get a
because you need
Venmo.
some form of ID for it.
True. Well, I guess not really Venmo. You get a Benmo. We'll call it that. We'll get a Benmo
A Venmo. Okay.
from your dad of a nice solid chunk of cash. You get yourself a new phone. With
All
that, you
right.
have a little extra cash from the phone. Your phone wasn't really 250, so if you want, like, you can get yourself any flashlights, anything like that, that might be helpful for
Yep.
navigating.
She's gonna go all Scooby Doo. So she's gonna go to the local, I guess what, survival gear store or something.
Yeah, kind of like
And
hardware, gears, something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, and she's gonna get,
the
she'll get a
local mall
flashlight.
wart.
She'll get binoculars. Let's see.
Kind of classic cryptid hunter kit.
Yeah. Nothing too outrageous. She's not like
Yeah.
gonna get a gun or any
No, it's just like
anything.
like a rope, thinking like, yeah, I'll make a trap, but I get nothing else with the rope to make the trap. That kind of
Okay.
stuff.
Ooh, maybe some like light sticks too.
Yeah, glow sticks. Maybe a set of matches and like candle a little bit to have like a little light or fire. You have like the most basics kind of stuff. Let's say like glow sticks, binoculars, a set of rope, matches, candle, flashlights, and definitely lots of different kinds of lights. Other than that, is there anything else? I guess maybe sage, if you happen to want to get some sage to sage the area.
Yeah, she'll stop by the local magic store too and just like pick up some stuff.
Yeah, you got like that little like herbalist store near your place. You're like, hi there, Shawnee. It's been a minute. How's it going?
Going good, going good. I got some extra to spend here.
Wonderful, wonderful. Welcome to my herbatorium here. By the way, next door, the cannabis shop has a 30% discount next door. I know I'm very much taking, advantage of it. Just FYI. Anyway, how can I help you this fine, gnarly day?
Oh, just doing some paranormal cleansing, if you will. You got anything for that?
Oh, absolutely, Shawnee, my dear. You see, over here we got some wonderful sage. On top of that, we got, various different kind of accessories to add to it, like basil, etc. Well, not really basil. You know how it's not actual basil, but the good stuff, the good stuff. The different kinds of things that you can add to it to enhance the energy. But if you're looking for something quick and easy, here's some good sage for you.
Hey, throw in the good stuff, will ya?
All right, all right. He has a little bundle of like twigs and cinnamon, like stuff that like is known to kind of help cleanse the air, and give a good smell with it. If you don't like the smell sage, for by chance, you can kind of burn them
Nice.
together, and it kind of supposed to somewhat enhance the effect, according to like naturalists and stuff like that.
Nice. Nice. Ooh, does my cell phone has a camera, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Okay, this is a fancy cell phone. I think when this book was written, technology was a little different. I'm looking at the gear and everything here.
Oh yeah, this was written in
It
like
was
2012 or something like that, like
yeah.
10.
They're like these. Well, I mean, they're still digital cameras and stuff, but like I think cell phones aren't smartphones in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have
Hey,
like
they're basic smartphones.
you have like now this is of course to modern day, so I'm pushing that forward even more to smartphones are a thing. Um, so we're just kind of like we're just adjusting it as much as we can for that.
Okay. Okay. And how about after she's gotten all this gear, while she's on the way to meet up with everybody, she stops her Uber or should we call it something else?
Your tuber.
She stops the tuber, which looks like this big, gigantic, root-shaped car, and she gets out, and she sees that someone has put a table on the side of the road. Just kind of a.
If on the street, it's free to keep.
It's on the street. It has a big free sign on it, and she says, "Hey, can I throw this in the trunk?"
Your tuber's like, I mean, sure, whatever.
All right. She throws it in the trunk. Maybe needs to break out the rope to make sure the trunk stays closed.
She grumbles a bit, like fucking use my trunk.
She's got a little extra money from her dad, so she slips him some cash. And
you slip him like a $5. Yeah, he's like, his mood's much better now.
All right, I'm all set.
All right, you take a table. I assume probably for our poor ass detective, but maybe you also just wanted a table.
Hey, we got to start somewhere.
Fair. And as you guys head to your places, you guys set stuff up. You got Chris, you get your baton ready. You're kind of like practicing swinging it. It's been a while since you had a baton in your hand. It's kind of like a Tonfa type vibe, so you're kind of getting used to the handle and all that. Mace, you're not even sure how to practice it, so you're just like, I'm not wanting to waste it. I'm just gonna leave it there. I'm not gonna fuck with it. You, on the other hand, Shawnee, you're getting your backpack ready. You're looking like a proper little explorer. While like Chris is bringing like weapons and like maybe you have a UV flashlight and an average flashlight as part of being like a detective, Chris. You have like kind of stuff like that in a notepad, like average detective stuff. But you're not really like, nearly as almost hiking-esque, like packed out as Shawnee is. As you guys both get ready to head on over to Lizzie's place, we'll end it here. And next time we'll pick it up with us appearing at Lizzie's area and starting our first little investigation.
Awesome. That sounds absolutely awesome. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for Session 0. And thank you guys for hanging out with me and figuring our characters out today. Hopefully next week we'll have Pickle. If you guys want to do it next week, I know we were talking about doing this every other week. So we'll discuss that. We'll figure out what we want to do for this series. But for now, thank you very much for watching, if everybody has been, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.